Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy. I am, what do? I'm an intuitive energy healer. I am a Celtic Shamanic High Priestess. I am a Galactic Ambassador. I do stuff. Crystal Master.
Very cool stuff.
I do stuff. And so I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jurkofsky. And Jen, what kind of stuff do you do?
I am a registered psychotherapist, a certified Canadian counselor, an intuitive life coach, an energy, person.
She does similar stuff and different stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like to combine all the stuff.
Me too. We have our unique toolkits that we use for our stuff.
Yeah.
So we
are environment and in the human design thing, and it's kitchens, right? And kitchens is that like alchemy, that ability to combine and bring all these things together. And so every time, it's funny, we talk about this, we do stuff, and it's so much more than that, and yet that's all it is.
It's energy stuff. Energy is everything. So
it's a beautiful thing to be able to just be like, yeah, this is the stuff.
We do stuff. It's awesome.
I love it.
So let's say hello to a few people that we have going on here. We have Kaylee. Hey, Kaylee. Nice to have you here. We have Leah. Hello. We're glad to have you. And we have Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Thanks for coming on. It's always great to have you here. So we have had quite the week.
You think?
We've had a whole bunch of M-class solar flares. And, the Schumann the Schumann's been pretty quiet, actually. It's been pretty, okay. Solar flares, though, we've had a number of M-class solar flares. So big hello to Tarot Stash, whom I think you were with today. Were you not?
Yes, we were on earlier today to Eastern. All the other stuff that correlates with that, you guys can math it out. And talking about human design authorities.
Awesome.
And so we started in with the solar plexus, which is 50% of the population. So a good chance that if you're not a solar plexus authority, you know some people who are. So a really important watch for understanding. So yeah.
Awesome. And a hello to Estella. Hey, Estella.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. So solar plexus, what does that mean? Exactly.
Emotional authority. Riding the waves.
That would be me. I've heard that term before. Emotional authority. Yes, I would imagine that is quite an interesting one to delve into deeply, I would think.
Well, and it's interesting, right? If we think about 50% of the population in the world has this authority, right? And right now it's a motor center, but it also is moving into this. It's awareness, right? And that emotional awareness and what that means. And what that means as we transition into new ways of being in the world.
Yeah.
And so really holding space for that, honoring it, honoring the time it needs, all of that, right?
Yeah. So check out that episode.
Yeah.
It was Lunch and Learn. Was it Lunch and Learn?
It was a laugh and learn. Yeah.
A laugh and learn. Yeah.
Okay. Your HR hat is on.
Sorry. It's my HR hat. Lunch and Learns. I'm in the middle of writing some Lunch and Learn, so that's part of that.
There you go. Yeah, awesome.
A big hello to Darpan for joining us. Hi, Darpan. Thanks for coming. And we've got Annie. Hey, Annie. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. Do you want to tell us about the transits?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do the transits.
So
these are your human design transits, guys, not your astrological.
They go with the astrological, but the tropical, not the sidereal. So
right.
If you want to, kind of play with it that way, that's where we're at. So everybody's been saying, hey, the energy's been really heavy, right? So remember last time we were coming into the energy, dealing with that shadow of victimization and moving into the gift and the city of freedom, right? And so just knowing that that's kind of the energy that we've come through, and that, you know, we're now transitioning into the next kind of stage of what that development is. You said, did you want to?
Yeah, we could put that out there if you're up for that. Leah has some interesting stuff. Learned the draconian influence is almost gone. Our DNA upgrades are making us stronger. We have a lot of DNA upgrades. This is part of what's happening. I was watching Alexander Quinn's broadcast. I shared it on my Facebook page, so if you guys are on there, you can take a look at that, about the upgrades and why we're all so tired. That's the one. That's the episode, and he talks in there about the DNA upgrades and what the light codes that are coming down are actually doing to change the mitochondria in the cells and all of that stuff. So he gets into a bit of the sciencey stuff as well behind it all. So it's a great listen. Annie says it's heavy, but it feels exciting. Feel good about the next change. Yeah. I couldn't sleep today.
I did not sleep last night. I didn't sleep last night. Not at all. Like today.
That's kind of what it's like. Yeah. So we're with you, Annie.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, right? So the beginning of the new year, if we look at it from like the Chinese New Year with the Xing and all of that, not the 1st of January, but around the 22nd. Mm-hmm. And that energy that came in, right, was all about changing our DNA and recoding and what that means and how we can do that. And also it was been, all of this process and everything that we're doing is, again, that ability to change and to bring in all of these new ways of being in the world and allowing our DNA to flow with that. So yeah. So this time, the 24th to the 1st, so we're kind of right in the middle of this transit. We're in 37. So here's the beautiful card that goes with 37.
Ooh, isn't that nice?
Yeah. And 37 is the family and friendship. This is about connection. And we're looking at moving from the shadow of weakness to the gift of empathy, equality. And then the siddhi of tenderness. Okay. So really recognizing, how that might be showing up in the energies for you. Being the gate of family and friendship. There's a lot, it's all about connection. And this is a gate in the solar plexus. So, I mean, what a great time for all of this to kind of come together, right?
Exactly.
So it deals with emotions, and it deals with our ability to understand the importance of emotional exchange, right? And our ability to really hone in on what that looks like and how we can create that in our communities, right? So even our talk today and what we do, on Mondays with all of you, we're honing in on that and what that looks like for us. And so with the gate 37 and the shadow aspect of weakness and how that manifests for us, there's this victimization of identity, right? Who am I in this reality, and who do I want to be, and how do I want to set those boundaries for myself? Right? Yeah. So we move, from the one side, we're looking at like that kind of over sentimental and all to being really cruel about it, right? And trying to really find balance in, this fear that comes up. And in the Xing, we talk about like the fear of tradition and things like that. But it's really this fear of not being strong enough to set our own boundaries.
Yeah.
To say, what, just because that's how it's always been doesn't mean that's how I want it to be. Right. And being able to really honor our truth in that. And that takes sometimes, confronting things that don't honor us anymore, or that don't hold truth for us anymore. And, so when we're looking at this shadow energy, or this kind of these things that might be coming up inside of us, where are we avoiding conflict or confrontation? You know, where are we trying to just kind of appease, right? That idea of, I don't want to rock the boat.
But I get seasick when I rock the boat.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's that
But
empath thing.
yeah. And that's hard, right? And so that's the beauty of this, though, because this path of equality, walking that gift, we can actually look at it and go, it's okay for you to be where you're at, and it's okay for me to be where I'm at, and I'm going to honor you and honor me. And if that means that we can journey together, that's awesome. And if that means we can't, that's okay too. Right? And being able to really allow that to unfold in a way that, you know, does honor equality and allows us to kind of, you know, transcend this confrontational nature that can come from changing tradition or from doing something differently. Right? And so how does that, you know, show up in your day to day is really, you know, what we always come back to. It's love, right? Can I love myself and can I love the other enough to hold space for things to be whatever they need to be, and still honor my boundary and still allow myself to say, you know what, this is my truth, and that's okay if you don't agree or if you don't honor that as your truth.
Yeah, it's true. So we have a couple other people that popped on here.
Yeah.
So we have Jen. Hey, Jen, Joyful Journey. She says hi to both of us. And Gerald says, I'm sleeping well and deeply. I wonder if that's simply because that's how I process all the energy. I suspect, yes. Because I usually am like that. But we had a full moon on the weekend, and so I tend to get a little bit more ramped up after a full moon. So I think that that's probably what's playing on me right now. Because I'm like you, Gerald, I usually sleep to process.
I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah.
And so because of the energies too, the animals have been really wound, right? So there's a lot of things that can play into where we're at any given moment.
Absolutely. And Leah says, I think we're as busy as heck while sleeping. Absolutely, we are. We do all sorts of stuff, right? Overnight. So definitely. And yeah, lean into the fear. It's an illusion. It is. It's not necessarily our reality. So that's okay. Don't tip the boat over. Well, I mean, I guess that depends whether it's meant to be or not, right?
Yeah. Sometimes we need to tip the boat over, even when it's scary. Even when it's leech water. I can tell you that story. Don't want to tell you that story.
Annie says her cats are cray-cray right now.
Yeah, they are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jen's got a lot of animals at her place. So she's got, what, you have 3 cats, 3 dogs, 3 rats?
3 cats, 3 rats, 4 dogs.
4 dogs. Right, 4 dogs.
It's busy.
It's busy household.
That's just the ones
in the country.
In the house.
What's that?
That's just the ones that are allowed in the house.
Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to talk about today? Do you want us to pick a card? Let's find out from them what they want us to talk about.
Well, I'll get them out anyway, just in case.
Yeah, get the cards out. Yeah, we're not really doing messages today, Leah. This is more discussion.
Well, it is and it isn't. When we pick a card, it's normally because there's a message that we all need to get.
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, we could do that.
We end up talking about it, which also brings us a whole lot of really cool messages that we, you know, can be.
All right. Let's. How about I pick a card for the collect? We'll pick 3 cards for the collective, because I often do that.
And I'll pick one for our normal one. So the normal kind of ones that we've been using right now is this deck right here. Okay.
Aha. Interesting. Yeah, this pretty much goes with it. All right. Pretty much goes with what you said.
So does this one.
All right.
Can't make this up.
You can't. You never can. All right. Embarking on a journey or an adventure. Okay, I savor the wonders of the world. So, an adventure. What kind of an adventure? That depends on where you're at. So it is probably going to involve standing firm, which is kind of those boundaries we were just talking about, just saying. And some growth, because we've got the little leaves here. So that's all about growth. Okay. And then making a difference. My inner light shines far and wide. This is also my spiritual communication card, because we got the lips up in the sky here. And there's a few waves in that water. So the waves are, water is symbolic of emotion.
Yep.
And so we got some wavy water here. So we are apparently like rocking the boat, so to speak. Then we have launching your journey. I'm an intrepid traveler sailing forth into the universe. So I really think overall the energies that are coming through, it's also about that spiritual growth right now. And kind of what we were talking about with the DNA upgrades, I think there's a piece of that that's in these cards as well. So yeah, so hang on for the ride. That's what I'm hearing, is hang on for the ride. I'm like, okay,
well,
awesome.
And in true form with what you just pulled and with the transit that we're in, am I consistently showing up?
Ooh, what does this mean to us? Showing up.
Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. And it's interesting, right? Because we're talking about showing up, and in the transit, we're talking about showing up and honoring who we are. Right. And so here we're talking about, our dreams and our goals, but they are so much connected to who we are and who we want to be and how we want to be in our experience. Today's soul action. Journal where you can be more consistent in your life in alignment with your soulful goals. Then show up.
So boundaries again.
Mm-hmm. So I think we have a theme.
I think we do. So here we go. Spirit's amazing. Annie was thinking process. So that kind of ties in. So we'll talk a little bit about process. And Kaylee's saying she's still struggling a bit with the mindset, and it's affecting other things. So blowing small things out of proportion. Any thoughts or help on how to get myself out of that?
Yeah. So in line with what we're talking about, my question would be, are you showing up for yourself? Right? Are you honoring what you need? Are you making space for yourself? Are you allowing yourself to do what you need to do to take care of you?
Yeah. So this would be, I think this is where you might want to do breathing, the reset, the basic exercise there that you do.
That's a really good one for just calming the nervous system. You know this one, right? So hands behind the head, rest into it, eyes to the right until you get a yawn, swallow, sigh. Take a breath, back to the left, yawn, swallow, sigh, come back, take a breath. Right? Just letting that nervous system reset and come back. Yeah.
Just thinking about it makes me yawn.
Just watch it. It's there you go.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yep, she
but
knows it for sure.
When we get to a place, and it's interesting, right? Because this energy of weakness, of not being able to stand up, of not being able to show up for ourselves, right? It's really easy to get into that place of, I just want to run away.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to face it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to work it out. I don't want to have to work through it. I don't want to all of this.
It's almost like we get change stressed. We talk about this in the workplace, right? You get change stressed because there's so much change that you get change fatigue. And, in many ways, we're going through that on a personal level as well right now with all of the energetic changes. Yeah. And I think that card is a good reminder to pace yourself.
Yeah. Well, right? And also just to honor where you're at any given moment, right? Like if we're if our perception is that change is hard and change is challenging and that it can be debilitating and that it can take away from us and it can drain our energy, of course that's what's going to happen in our experience.
Yeah.
Right? But if we can go, you know what, change is exciting, and yeah, it takes work, and it takes showing up, and it takes, being willing to commit to honoring what is our truth in that moment. But it can also be invigorating, and it can be a wonderful, ride.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about being okay with change in many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
In many ways. And change, we change every day. We talk about this all. I think we've probably talked about it to death, but we change every day. We're never the same person 2 days in a row because we always learn something. Mm-hmm. So we always change how we come into the world, how we present, how we sit in wherever we are. We're always changing that. So we always think that it's a big upheaval, and sometimes it can be, mm-hmm. but we often make it harder than it needs to be, I think. Yeah. And but that's a human state of being, though, right?
Well, and it's about
because we want harmony,
resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that resistance comes in, all of a sudden what's happening becomes exponentially more difficult.
Yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm. Hey, Monica.
Hello.
It's Monica.
Yeah. So what's coming up for all of you? What are some areas in your life that you are showing up for yourself? What are some areas you want to be able to show up for yourself better? Right? How is that kind of playing out for you?
Mm-hmm. And Kaylee says a lot of it is awareness. Absolutely. It is the first step, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
And trying to be kind to ourselves is key.
Well, and that's the most important part, right? Is we can go through all kinds of stuff and be okay, but if we beat ourselves up every time we go through something and go, oh, well, I should have known better, or I should have done this, or I should have done that, or whatever
we should ourselves to death is what we do in this human thing. We tend to should ourselves to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but being in a place where we can go, you know what? Okay, that's how I was in that moment. In this moment, I want to do something different. That's okay.
Because we're never the same person 2 days in a row, or two moments in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The key is to surround yourself with people that are comfortable with, not comfortable, non-judgmental. Right?
That are open.
Open, thank you. Yes, mm-hmm. Open and compassionate. That's what we all need, really, as humans, is openness and compassion. Because nobody is perfect. We all make our own mistakes. We all do stuff. Most times it's not intentional. We just happen to be human. So,
well, and noticing all of the filters and everything that we have that constantly determine the reality that we live, right? Mm-hmm. We might have an experience and then all of a sudden we go, oh, well, this person's just this, that, and the other thing. We have no idea if that's true or not. No. But we've decided that that's the reality that we want to live in that moment. And in doing so, we suffer.
Yeah. And it becomes our perception of the moment and our perception of our own reality when it really is just perception.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of comments going on there.
We do. Let's take a look. So she corrects that later on, saying getting. So been getting up early to do mild exercise program. Be kind to small steps I'm making. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Honor the successes, right?
Yeah.
Every time we
not just honor, but celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate the successes. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Trying to loose extra stuff, trauma bonds before spring so I can get more outside goals tackled. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good old trauma bonds.
Yeah.
not making it my whole life or my view of how productive I am. Yes, it's not even just how productive you are. Your work is not how valued you are or how loved you are or any of that stuff, right? It's just something you do. We are all loved.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? And we talk about this. I talk about this a lot when I do Enneagram work, is this, these ideas that we have of where our value comes from. And we all are taught from the moment we are born that we have to prove our value from this, that, or the other thing, right? And so really recognizing that inherent value that we have, all of the rest of it's gravy.
Exactly. So more room for new ways, new info, new love. Awesome. Less is more. It can be, yes. Trying to get rid of trauma. Hoarding. Ooh, dear, hoarding. That's a strong word. And we have Scott with us. Hello, Scott. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Yeah. You are not your job. You are how you do it, maybe. Even that, though, can vary, right? Depending on where you're at and what you're feeling like that day. But that is the same for everybody. So we still need to be compassionate to ourselves, even on those days when we're not perhaps performing as well as we would normally or as well as we would love to be.
Yeah,
We still need to.
A friend, Jode, who stayed with me for a little while, and we had this thing, and it was level 5. And it was one of those, it doesn't matter, where we were at or what we were doing. It's like, how you doing today? Level 5, right? And what changed was it 5 out of 5? Was it 5 out of 5 million?
Right.
Right? We're still doing the best we can do in that moment. But sometimes the best we can do is awesome, bang on. And sometimes the best we can do is, say hi, good morning. Okay, I'm going back to bed.
Remember to brush your teeth before you leave.
Maybe.
Leave to go out. Maybe.
Right? But being able to allow yourself to be wherever you're at and to meet yourself there. Right? And to be okay with it and to recognize that, some days we can't even, we talk about comparison, right? And we talk about how we should never compare ourselves to somebody else. But even comparing ourselves to ourselves can be a really dangerous thing. Right? Because some days we have lots of capacity and we don't have a whole lot of hiccups and we don't have a whole lot of anything showing up for us. And other days, it's really, really hard to navigate. And I think that we can't, on those really hard days, go, well, yesterday I could do it. Why can't I do it today? Right? Because that can become we talked about trauma hoarding up there, that, that Leah said, and that's really a part of it, because what we end up doing is we're constantly re-traumatizing ourselves with our own narratives and our own lenses that aren't really even anything to do with who we are. Right? And so we just pile it on and pile it on. And then we're constantly in this place of wounding, and we're not even realizing that we're doing that to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's that. So Kaylee says definitely the second one. I'm not sure which.
Before.
Oh, this one here. Yep. And then whoop. Jen needed to hear that. Okay. The mantra I keep hearing is stay neutral, stay in the middle.
I mean, if you think about the middle road in every, mystical teaching out there, right? The more we can stay in that middle place, right? And it's not to say that we can't have the highs and lows, but if you think about it, right? The more we're in this place of, I want the high, and that's all I want. And so you're constantly striving for that, and it's constantly something outside of your reach. Now think about how much more that low can be, right? Because as above, so below, right? So the more that we can stay in this kind of middle ground place, we still get to have that full experience and expression, but we're able to do it in a way that's much more all-encompassing.
Right. Yeah. So Kaylee says it was a 5 out of a million day today.
Wow, that's a day.
That is a day.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It's okay.
That's a good self-care day.
You
Take
are loved.
some time to take care of you, to love yourself, to really, really give yourself what you need in order to recoup through.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Ice bath, salt water. Get rid of that energy. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening energetically right now. I'm feeling very I'm very pulled at the moment. 110%. Awesome.
Yeah. So just, noticing how we're being pulled, what is showing up for us, and what we think we have to do at any given moment, and where does all of that come from, right? Where is this pressure, and what narrative is that? Who does that actually belong to, right? Is that a societal narrative, a cultural narrative? Is that our family narrative, right? Again, we're talking about this fear of tradition, and is there something that we need to break? Right? We talk a lot about, generational traumas and generational healing and breaking of patterns. And then again, with our different lives, right? As that comes through, and understanding how all of these things, are so interconnected, when we make a change, because nothing is really linear, think about the power of what that showing up for ourselves can actually do in the broader spectrum of what existence is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And because we're multidimensional, when we make a change, we're changing things on multiple dimensions and in multiple timelines. Often we're adjusting things. So never underestimate. This is why I'm very strong about let's celebrate our successes, right? Because we tend to underestimate them. We think, oh well, I just did just that. Well, just that creates this, and this, and that's awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important as well. And the programming that we get, you're talking about family trauma and all of that. We get programmed to think certain things are right or certain things are wrong. And we don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be the same programming that we decide to keep, right? So I often will be like, okay, so let's pull this out. All right, this is the program. This says I shouldn't do this. All right, why? Asking 5 whys. Why is this the program? Why do I feel that way? And am I still comfortable feeling this way? Or do I want to tweak it? Do I want to throw it out altogether? What do we want to do? And that's part of the spiritual journey, right? Mm-hmm. Is when we set off and we're like, okay, I'm open and observant, right? Open, observant, and flexible, compassionate for self. Then we start to move into new territory, and we can be who we're meant to be, not who everybody else wants us to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I often say open and curious, right? Can we just allow space for something to be beyond what we think it is?
Yeah. This is Monica here saying yes in all the levels and timelines. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Leah says we're heading to an amazing time where love and self-respect are the norm. Mm-hmm. The old ways are leaving and being replaced.
Yeah, and they have to, with the way that the world is changing.
Absolutely.
The new paradigms and the new perceptions that are coming in, and that, we have a generation more than, the new generations that have been coming in have been saying enough of the old traditions, enough of the old way of being. Yeah. Right. And there has been this kind of rewiring and reworking of what is okay, and much more honoring the self. We talk about, the shoulds and this kind of generational thing of, taking pride in overworking yourself and being exhausted, and wearing that as a badge of honor. Like, that is no more when we look at, what's coming out and what's coming up, so really being able to release those old ways.
Yeah. Goddess energy is coming back, getting restored and balanced. And that's true. Long overdue. Although the universe has this under control. Yeah, the universe is doing it for us, right? We just need to hang on for the ride. Like an adventure, right? We're embarking on an adventure and we're launching the journey.
Yeah.
The cards,
we need to just buckle in and go, okay, what's next?
What's next?
Okay, now what?
What else is possible?
What
else is possible?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been in a very, masculine energy for a long time, right? The patriarchal society and everything. And I think as we move into the sort of, what are they calling it now? It's more balanced. The balanced, because we do this with a lot of things, right? Something will be off balance, and then it goes all the way back to the other side before we come to the middle. And that's kind of what we've seen, right? We were very, very goddess energy. Then we moved over to this patriarchal power energy. And now it feels more like we're coming back to this center where we can really sort of... This is an interesting analogy. Sorry. The world's like a dirty bachelor pad. So let's load on the bus. Road trip. Kaylee's got the snacks, so we're good. Awesome.
Let's do it.
Sorry.
But that's exactly it, right? Like, if we can look at every day as just an experience, just an adventure, without this whole trying to define something as good or bad, right or wrong, all of that, then we can say, no worries, we got this, because we really do.
We do. It is so. So be it, and so it is. It is so.
Mm-hmm.
We got this.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Jackie's wondering if there's smelly underwear strewn all about. I hope not. But you never know what you're going to find.
If there is, the dogs have already gathered it and
and eaten it, probably. There, see, Leah is trying to help.
Yeah.
She's trying to help with this. She's offering the bathtub. She's going to clean up our act is what she's going to do. We're going to clean up our...
And this is the other piece with the emotional energy, right? Because water and cleansing and the need for that emotion. I know, I'm trying. You guys are killing me.
Loose change in the cushions. Yeah, sometimes we find loose change in the cushions.
Yeah, and lots of old food. That's the choice of children.
Yes. Like the cookies from the Oreo. Eat the cream and put the cookies under the couch.
I love it.
Oh, thanks, Leah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know someone who did that, actually.
I figured that was a coming from experience kind of comment right there.
Yeah, it's not me, by the way. No, it's not me. I would dip mine in milk. Just for the record. But I did know somebody that did that.
Mm-hmm.
Not for long.
Not for long once you caught them.
Well, it wasn't me catching them. Once their parents caught them, didn't go over very well. Yeah. Yep. Oh. Oreo. Ooh. I need me one of those. Speaking of Oreo, they have a galactic one with blue
Pop
and
rocks.
pop rocks. Oh, they're awful. Okay.
I don't know if I'd like them with pop rocks.
It would be an interesting experience.
I mean, okay, with different colored icing, I'm all for that. I just don't know about those pop rocks.
Okay, please add them.
Okay.
I've had pop rocks before, so I guess I'm just not sure how it would go. Oh,
well,
cool! Thanks.
I like to open the Oreo, and I like to open another Oreo, and then I'll eat the single wafers together, and then I smash all that together, make my own double stuffed, and then go from there.
Ooh, so, galactic double stuff Oreos.
I don't know if I could handle that much pop rock in an Oreo cookie.
I'm getting a lot of eye rolls here from my galactic friends, by the way, just so you know.
I kind of thought maybe.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of eye rolling going on here. Mm-hmm. It's therapeutic laughter.
And it is so important.
Oh, it is.
Laughter is a wonderful therapy.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. We so the galactic stuff is becoming a big thing, of course, right now. So it's becoming more and more mainstream. And I'm telling this story because of the galactic cookies. IKEA actually has little aliens and little UFOs. I had a friend bring one to me. She offered. Cool. She called me and she was like, "I'm here. Can I bring it for you?" And I said yes. And that was Kaylee. Mm-hmm. And so, so I now have those. I don't have them right here, or I would show you. But to me, that is like a huge. It's a huge leap forward that somewhere like IKEA is bringing that forward into the mainstream. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's exciting. You know, that galactic ambassador part of me is like, cool. Do they have any messages for us cray crays? They wouldn't call us cray crays. They're just like, it's kind of like children. They kind of look at us.
We are, though. We are such children.
Well, we are compared to them, right? Because we're not advanced in the same way that they are. And so the way we see things is like, they just look at us like, what? What? Yeah. So it's kind of funny. Oh, okay, cool. I can show you because Kaylee has a picture and I can present the picture and show you the screen. Very cool. Let's do that. I just think this is a really cool indication. See?
Oh, cute.
They're so cute. They even have a little control panel there. You can see the control buttons here. You know, this is actually quite big. It's like this big.
Oh, wow.
The UFO, like it's not like, we're not talking tiny things here. These guys are like this big, the UFO. So it's pretty cool. Oh, apparently the dogs like it too.
The dogs think so too. Yeah.
Awesome. We're 2 years old. Yes, pretty much. Oh, there's another picture here for size. Okay, one sec. Oh, there we go. That's with a steering wheel. So that's my little ET friend. Yes. Sorry, I had to share. He's very cute. And then I got this guy for Christmas, which he sits here and watches over me. I know we've digressed into ET land.
That's okay.
It is. It's our family, right? They're our galactic family, the
Mm-hmm.
ETs. So,
Exactly.
so awesome.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, the reality is a lot of us have had those lives too.
Yeah, you and I have had quite a few
Yeah.
in that respect. Do we want to talk about that? That's something we haven't talked about on here.
I don't know. I guess so. I don't know if we want to get into it now since we're already like.
Oh, we're only 5 minutes in. Okay, we'll talk about that another day.
But we
We'll have a little chat about that another day. So.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, truly, you know, a lot of the messages and the things that are coming in to help us honor who we are and honor who we want to be, right? And to be able to make space for ourselves in this experience.
Mm-hmm. So a big question is like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
If you could sum up who you were in 3 words, what would it be?
In 3 words.
Mm-hmm. That's going out to all of you in the audience too.
Mm-hmm.
If you could sum it up in 3 words, what would you be?
Unlimited experiencing everything.
That's big.
Just getting going.
I think that's me too. I'm just getting going. Thank you. It's always great to have you. Always great to have you. I'm glad you love your obsidian. Snowflake obsidian. So for those of you that aren't aware, I do a crystal of the week and an energy uptake of the week every week, usually actually on Mondays as well. And so that's what she's referring to. So very nice. Awesome. Thank you. We love having you guys here, and we hope that you're laughing along with us, you know,
most definitely.
in all of this. Yeah, we don't like to take ourselves too seriously most of the time.
I had a friend who was watching, and at one point, and they were watching, but they weren't watching, like just that lurking kind of thing. And we were doing stuff or holding stuff up or doing whatever, and it's like I couldn't follow, but it was hilarious, and I just had to laugh along with you. I just didn't know what was going on, but all of the laughter and everything was just so contagious. And you got what you needed from it.
That's right. If you're looking for serious, this is not your show.
Mm-hmm.
You too, Leah. Have a great week.
Yeah.
Have a great week. Yeah, I should say, yeah, we do. We seem to have a portion where we're pretty serious, and we have done some pretty deep topics, depending on the week.
Ebb and flow, and I think that there's a beauty in being able to ebb and flow because you can go so deep and get really in there. But we don't want to get caught up in the intense seriousness of it if we really want to stay in that place of bliss, right? Again, it's that balance. How do we allow ourselves to just be okay with where we're at, whatever that looks like for us, right? And so we may talk about, we've talked about death and grief and trauma. I mean, we've done some really heavy topics. And yet, there is this, in this moment, right here, right now, we can enjoy our experience and hold space for that with one another. And I think that's an amazing thing.
Yeah. And I think, it does lighten the load, even if we are going through a heavy time, to be able to look at it from a different perspective. And personally, that's what I hope that we bring, is just a different perspective to things. And, I hope that everybody just feels that it's that way, that we're just trying to offer a different perspective. In no way do I ever want anybody to feel, because we're laughing about something, that we're like making fun of, because we're like right there with you. This human thing. We've both done stuff and gone through our stuff and have our days where we're like the 5 and 1 million, and we've all been there. It's and that's what this show's about. you know, and we talk about it, how we started the show and how we were so like, how do we do that? We wanted to make sure it was good, and we didn't want to be too serious. We didn't want to be too, silly. And how do we do this? And here we are almost 2 years later.
It's easy to think that's,
yeah, it's almost 2 years. Yeah, I think it's May or June or something. It'll be 2 years, so a couple of months left, but
yeah,
still.
Yeah. And it's been a wonderful experience. And again, it's that showing up, right? Like bringing it back to where we're at with this energy and all, is being able to say, you know what? And this was a big thing for me coming into this with my own kind of stuff and that fear of putting it out there and just being like, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
Right. And being able to just go, you know what? Like, okay, I'm being told to show up and being called to show up. Like, let's just do this.
Just so you know, guys, she wasn't told by me. She was asked by me. She was told.
I was invited by you, which is so perfect.
But told. She had to.
I was told.
I just want to make sure people know that I didn't coerce you into this.
I think that they could tell that from the energy and dynamic.
I just want to be sure.
I mean, slave driver Tanis over here. No, of course not. Not coercing anybody. Oh, golly. Oh, man. I don't know, I guess, though. There was a little bit of a, it's okay, Jen. You can do this.
Yes, I did. I tried to support. And they had some, support. So, yes.
Well, and that's the other beautiful thing about community, right? Again, energy of family and friends and being able to do something different together.
Yeah.
Right? And to be able to hold space for one another and to be able to show up for one another and to, say, it's okay, we got this. Right? And to pick up for one another where we need to. And it's such an amazing evolution to see, how that progresses and how that's progressed, even like in the chat and having you guys being a part of the conversation and all of that. Like, it's been such, I'm like goosebumps everywhere. It has been such an uplifting and wonderful experience to be able to really overcome this fear and this fear of change and this fear of not wanting to, stand up, to show up, to, be raw and real and all of that. And in this authentic conversation space, and then being able to go, you know what, like that whole process of working through that was amazing and life-changing and, such a blessing to be able to go through.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it was said today, Leah said it earlier, right? That the fear is, what did she say? I have to go past the smelly underwear one moment. Of course, that's what stuck out.
I thought the dogs ran away with that.
Where is it? She said something about, lean into the fear. It's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did, right? We leaned into it.
Yeah.
So, and really, I mean, can we read the day card again for the topic, please? Because I think that was...
Am I consistently showing up? Right? Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream.
Mm-hmm. And I think for us doing this show, that's been apropos.
Yeah.
So I just am so honored to be here every week with all of you. It's amazing. And I think Jen has a little, what do we have, a self-care or mantra or what is it that we're doing?
The last part that we do is just kind of an activity for the week. And it could be a meditation, an activity in that way. And it's from the Seeds from the Sacred Feminine deck right here. So let's see. What do they want us to do this week?
Be self-compassionate to start. Oh, did I nail that? Oh. Sorry, got the message early.
Hey, Bonnie, showing up in stillness.
Hi.
Yes, that is so beautiful.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Yeah. Okay.
So being self-compassionate, let's see what the card says about it.
Here we go. Okay, guys. So here's the card.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Dear gentle soul, you are very gifted in caring for those around you. We are here to remind you that you need to work on caring for yourself. Like your sacred mother, you focus on everyone around you and make sure that all of their needs are met. This is a great skill. However, leaving your own needs unmet and unheard dishonors your sacred lineage. How in line is this?
You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Every week, the cards do this.
Here we go. Loving yourself is your true and only task. Hold on, let me say that again. Loving yourself is your true and only task.
Ooh.
Know your worth, for you are a magnificent being. Be kind to the needs of your heart and listen to the signs when you have overstepped your boundaries. See, when you have overstepped your boundaries.
We should talk about that one day.
Yeah. To live in balance, you must value yourself. Allow your own needs to speak their truth and honor them with your attention. Oh my God, this is
the whole conversation.
So much.
Yeah, it's the whole conversation, right?
This is the sacred work. As you honor your emotional and physical bodies and deepen the love you have for yourself, your love for others will grow. It is sacred law that when you plant in your own heart and mind, that's what will become real in the world. These are the seeds of the sacred feminine. Let the seeds of kindness for yourself grow and flourish.
Grow and flourish.
And it's about that standing firm, right? It's this whole energy of the transit that we're in right now is this moving from a place of weakness to equality to tenderness, right? And really being able to understand what that means in our experience. And it's all about holding space for that transformation within ourselves.
Self-compassion. That is what we need to do this week. So who's going to do that? Can we have a show of hands from the audience? Who is going to value their self-care and their self-compassion this week?
And also just honor what's your truth in a moment. Yeah. It's okay if it's not somebody else's, and it's okay if somebody else doesn't, agree or want to hold that space for you, but how can you honor that and set that boundary and be firm in that for yourself?
Yeah. Gonna try. So I had a mentor that used to say this. I think it's from Star Wars. Time is lying.
Oh, no.
You either are or you aren't. So we're going to be a work in progress. So we're working on it. Working on being good to ourselves.
Well, and also just honor where you're at. If I can honor where I am right now in this moment, whatever that looks like, then I can be self-compassionate.
Absolutely. So we send you off this week with tons of love, with lots of compassion, and we shall see you next week. Same time, same place. Well, hopefully a little earlier. We're a couple minutes behind tonight, but around 5 o'clock. is our time. And do you have anything you want to share this week?
No, I think that's it. I already did the show with Gerald just before this one, and that's kind of the other thing I had on the go. So, yeah. What do you got going on?
I am just looking to take a look here. Yeah, it's just a work week this week. Lots of work stuff happening. We don't have a lot of podcasts this week, or the classes are already ones that are in session. So the Celtic Shamanic High Priestess stuff, and so yeah. So we shall see you next Monday. That is where we will be. Is right here again.
Wonderful.
Sending you lots of love, everyone. Have an awesome week. Be good to yourself, and don't forget to play. Lots of love.